Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. In this video, we're going to be talking about Jared Leto and some of the news that's been going on around that cat. Welcome, tarot fans. Since it is Channeling Rock Stars Week, and there was so much news that came out about Jared Leto, I thought we would dip into what's going on with him. So, a little introduction about Jared Leto, if you don't know who he is an Oscar-winning actor, musician, and visual artist. Notable roles: Fight Club, Requiem for a Dream, and the Dallas Buyers Club. He's the lead singer of 30 Seconds to Mars, which he founded with his brother in 1998, founded with his brother, Shannon Leto. In 1998. I'm a big fan of 30 Seconds to Mars. I think that Jared has an amazing voice. It is one to listen to. He is admired for his immersive method acting and also his powerful vocal range, which does come in handy when you are an actor. He does have a devoted fan base that has been named the Echelon. And the Echelon is kind of like a super fan club, but it's gotten a little bit interesting. So we're going to be talking about that. There's been a lot of discussion about the Echelon and the Malibu camp for adults that he set up, or I should say 30 Seconds to Mars has set up, and also Mars Island, which is in Croatia. We're going to get there. So I'm going to pull up that card view. Before I do that, please hit the like button and stick around, because later today I am going to be channeling the late, great Chris Cornell. So we'll be doing that in another video. Here's our card view. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. I hope you're enjoying Rockstar Week. Let's giddy up here. So what archetype does Jared Leto, I'm having trouble saying that, currently embody? What archetype does he currently embody? And I'm going to be using the Hydesville Tarot for this. This is a gift from my good friend Alicia Wicker. If you're not subscribed to her, go on over and subscribe to her. She is an amazing tarot reader and she has amazing crystals. All of the crystals you see on my table are from her. So the Hydesville Tarot is a major arcana tarot. So we are going to be looking at what archetype does Jared Leto currently embody. We're talking about today, right now. The moon in reverse, things are being revealed. So that's an interesting card there. We're going to keep the Hydesville on deck just in case we need it, but we're going to go to our Radiant Rider Waite. Now, the Echelon has a triangle design with a line through it that a lot of their members have gotten tattooed on them. They do have a bunch of shirts that say, I'm in a cult. This is a cult. So the Echelon originally launched as a super fan movement for the most dedicated of 30 Seconds to Mars followers. It evolved into experimental fan events from the Malibu retreats to Mars Islands. Now, some people do meet and greets. You can pay a little bit extra. A couple hundred up to $1,000, meet celebrity, have 10 minutes with them, get to chit chat with them. This kind of took it a little bit further and branched away from what the Grateful Dead and Fish did with people touring around and following those kinds of events. This was marketed more as a spiritual / musical retreat. It included yoga, acoustic sets, these small, intimate, private things, performances, and community bonding. So the price range went from thousands to many thousands. There was a very, very exclusive event, I believe, had no price tag. It was like inquiries only. It's drawn comparisons to cult-like atmosphere, especially because of the optics, because Jared has the long hair. It's a very Jesus Christ look, and everyone is wearing white on Mars Island. So it just kind of looks a little bit interesting. So the cult declaration on the t-shirts was theirs, and media has been kind of phrasing it as very cult-like. So what energy surrounds the Mars Island retreats? I got a jump out card. We're going to take that. Work. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. Are they spiritual connection points or controlled driven experiences? Let's see. Let's uncover this. So I do think that these retreats, it is an exit from the world into a place of bliss. Now we've got this Ace of Wands in reverse, and that's a little bit of misdirected actual energy. There are experiences there that expand the horizons and expectations of some of the participants. Everything, I think, is NDA'd. Here, it is a money making venture. So, do I think that this is cult-ish, or is it a money-making venture? Let's look at this. And I will say this, I have actually toyed with the idea of doing a meet and greet vacation. I've talked to a travel agent about it, and they do make money. They do. So, is it more of a cultish kind of thing? Four. Now that's interesting because we get the Four of Wands is the home card celebration ceremony. And one of the things that they do tout the Echelon being is a family. So is it new beginnings? Happy, happy, happy. And there's that actual energy again. I do think that there's something a little bit interesting about this. Now, some people have drawn some comparisons to like Nexium. Is it close to what Nexium is? Let's see. And those of you that are saying you're not talking about the allegations, we're getting there. Is it close to what Nexium? Oh, that means it is kind of similar to Nexium. So, we're going to talk about a little bit more of the chronology here. So, all of the subjects we are discussing are innocent until proven guilty. We're here to assess the energy around the public narratives, not determine guilt or innocence. This reading is not going to point us in a direction. The cards may say something interesting. So in the early 2000s, there were some discussions about behavior and dating behavior of Jared. He dated young models, would text them almost incessantly. Just getting my notes up here, kids. So, yes, his preference for young fans in the early 2000s. Fact? Yes. So I think in the early 2000s, it is more of an age appropriate behavior. He's my age, so he's like 25-ish. I think he's 53. So we're talking about the early 2000s. He was 28-ish. So kind of makes sense. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he was dating girls in their young 20s. Had a preference, a penchant for models. I think this is where it kind of gets twisted there. From 2013 to 2018, a lot of speculation started to grow about him on TikTok, Tumblr. What was the progression of his dating behavior? Temperance, Two of Cups, not looking for anything serious, not looking, and he remains unmarried and has not fathered any children as far as we know. But I think that there was a balance between relationships, one night stands. I listen, he's a celebrity, he's a super good looking guy. Not gonna begrudge him one night stands or anything like that. One night fans, one night fans. Not going to begrudge him of that. It does happen when fame hits. I loved him in Fight Club. I thought it was a great role in Fight Club. And he was the pretty boy in that got his face smashed in. I think he was still, had one foot in, traditional kind of relationships, saying that he dated Lindsay Lohan for a while. I suspect that one of their big songs was about Lindsay Lohan, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So here, not looking for anything serious, can't blame him. Some people just don't want to get into that relationship thing. Inappropriate DMs to younger people. Yeah, that was looking for a good time. Don't need nothing but a good time. So inappropriate DMs. Yeah, I do think that may have been happening. So Dylan Sprouse publicly criticized Jared's behavior with models. So Dylan Sprouse married, I believe, an person who formerly had associated with Jared. So Dylan Sprouse, what did he know? Oh, a lot of anxiety. Hidden behind the scenes there, coloring things outside the lines, not being a nice person. This is possibly ghosting. So I do think that there were some stories told to Dylan Sprouse by his wife, the gal that he married, that pointed in a gnarly direction, a not so good direction. That sword there with the moon, that is the T word that we bury very, very deeply underneath us. And it comes out when we get emotionally sound, when we start to level out. Here, I think there were some weird things that were out of bounds for that particular person. And she disclosed that later to her husband, I believe. So I think we see that. Now, James Gunn, who directed the Guardians of the Galaxy, I love his hair, by the way. Just want to say that. James Gunn had tweeted and then removed the remark, and it said it was about Leto's direct messaging with underage models. The quote was, "He starts with 18 question mark." He later said that was an Ambien rant and apologized for it. Did James Gunn mean what he said? He meant what he said. He was looking to start a fight, and this is a truth teller. That is a truth teller. So Mars Island criticism. So the media has begun to check out what goes on Mars Island as of 23-24. So does the media have it right? Paige is the truth teller. 4 of Wands, 5 of Cups. I do think the media has the word of some people. I think the media has, on good account, some tales of being there. Now, to 2025, 9 women come forward with allegations. Some claim to be underage, but these are unverified reports. Claims are under investigation, but to date, there are no criminal charges or anything like that. So this isn't, it's rumor right now, guys. I want you to know that it is a rumor. So is there any truth in the rumor about any of these women? Is there any truth? Remember, there is sometimes the day after regret. Sometimes people have day after regret. Sometimes they think that they're going on the celebrity ride. They're going to have Birkins and Mercedes and G-Wagons and whatnot. and then they don't. And so sometimes they get upset about that. So the 9 women coming forward with these allegations, allegedly, are what has renewed the attention for James Gunn's deleted tweet. So is there any truth to it? Oh boy. That's a yes. That is a yes. That is a yes. So, what's the energetic turning point in Jared's public image? Now, to be sure, we've all heard the stories about the gag gifts that he sent around while he was on the Suicide Squad. Can't say that word. The movie, the set. He sent all manner of gross things: live rats, hogs, used condoms, and other gross items to the cast members. So, what was the energetic turning point in his public image? Is it when he played the Joker? Yes, that's when things started to get weird. Is this another turning point, what we're seeing right now? Yeah, now we're going to find out about the people that aren't happy with him. So, let's talk about how this all comes together. So, Jared is known for being intensely charismatic, and some say that his conversation is hypnotic. The best singer performers will entrance that audience. If you've never gone to a concert before everybody gets there, highly recommend it. Like go to a bowl or a stadium, get there first, go in first. The intensity that builds as that stadium fills up is really remarkable. The best musicians will go out there and taste that milieu periodically as it is building up. They will peek out from behind the stage. They will get into that vibrational pattern of the audience. And I think that Jared was pretty masterful about leading that audience. And now it's translated to this Mars Island intimate kind of retreat with his fans. But this kind of hypnotic presence sits poorly with a lot of us because, especially a lot of us that grew up in the 70s and the 60s. Charles Manson is one. Charles Manson directed the traffic on Spawn Ranch and beyond. Jim Jones, David Koresh. We have a lot of examples of people that are hypnotic in presence. Impressionable is the audience. Very impressive is the director of that. So it's led to adoration for Jared Leto, but it's also led to concern. Some people are seeing something not quite right there. So the social dynamics on Mars Island, there's different levels. And that's one of the things that I experienced when I was touring with my ex-husband is that people always wanted to get to the next level. I even had guy friends that were like trying to get through the next hula hoops. They could get backstage, stand on the stage. I'm going to tell you guys, worst place to listen to a band is on stage, like sitting on the stacks like all the girlfriends do. And that's performative. The music sounds like crap. Get out in the audience. It'll sound better. So, is the line between influence and crowd gathering, is it blurred now? I'll say so. Judgment, Knight of Cups, Under the Surface Swords, King of Wands. I do think that I don't think that he wants to like build a village and have everyone there, him or his brother. But I do think that this is a very interesting marketing approach to business. And I think that there are some that are plucked from the masses and allowed into the next room. Those of you that follow me for royal readings, you know that I talk often about the different rooms that are in manor houses. That yeah, as your level of social influence goes up, you are allowed into those rooms further and further and further into the house. That's where the word inner sanctum comes from, or the phrase inner sanctum comes from. So I do think that there's something afoot here, and I think that we can plant a grove and pluck some of the fruits. So, is there an energetic imbalance of power between Jared and his fans? Energetic imbalance of power. And guys, like, don't come for me in the comments. I am trying to be very impartial with this. Yes, energetic imbalance is right there. So, what is the nature of his influence? We're going to put this card back in the deck. What is the nature of Jared's influence? What is the core of it? What is the core of it? Moving on up to the east side. Come with me. Come with me. I will show you the way. Come with me and I will reveal all with all these other people. This is Jared aware of what he is building? Is he aware of what he's building? No, not necessarily. There's a certain greediness about enjoying the fruits of celebrity. There's a certain greediness about that, but I don't think that he realizes what he is putting into play. So there's a fantastic book called Geek Love by a writer named Catherine Dunn, Dunn. And Geek Love is about a carnival family, the Binuski family. And one of the children, all the children are in some fashion deformed, I have to say that, or rendered special by the parents in order to make them sideshow attractions for the carnival. It's a crazy book. So like, if you've got a little twisted in your head, you can read it. But the oldest boy, Arturo, creates a religious cult that follows the carnival around. And that was very purposeful. This does not feel quite as purposeful. It feels very organic in its development. I don't think that I don't think he sat down and created a blueprint of the Echelon and like turned it into this. I think it's been very organic and growing. You know, so let's see how these allegations are emerging energetically. Is the media turning this into something else in the wake of the Diddy trial? Is the media manipulating this particular situation to make it look like something else? I do think that the media has some stories. I think the lead on this started as rumor and supposition. I think there is some truth here. I think there is some truth. Now, again, celebrity sometimes has a problem with people latching on to that celebrity and expecting more than is really there. I'm going to be the next Mrs. Whomever. And I do think that we have that issue a bit. But I think there's a little bit there. I think he did not treat some people well. And I think that becomes an issue. I think sometimes spirituality and responsibility bypasses celebrity culture. I think sometimes the cup is too full. Um, so what is the truth? What is the illusion? And what is our future path? So we've got truth, illusion, future path. I think we are going to see, we keep seeing this. These three of pentacles keep showing up. I think the future path is we're going to see more people coming together. I think Jared needs to prepare himself for more of these. And I said this about the Diddy trial. I said there's going to be some validity in the complaints against him, but there's also going to be some people that jump onto that train just to try and get a payout. Here, the truth, I think the story that he is going to tell is going to align with some of the stories that are told on the other side. And it's going to show, and again, I think it's going to show that not all are below board. Let's put it that way. The illusion is that this kills his career. And I want to pull some more on that. Ask, is there something behind the scenes that is trying to destroy Jared Leto's career? Yes, there's something behind the scenes that is trying to destroy Jared Leto's career because of something that he did to a woman. And I don't mean that in like the ultimate illegal, terrible sense. What I'm saying is that there is someone out there that he did not treat well who is now coming to the fore, and there's a champion that is going to help her tell her story and rectify that. So I don't want to go any further into that. I do think that there's going to be one particular person who will be championed by a male sort. Possibly, it could be an attorney, but it could be a spouse, so or a partner. Are there going to be legal consequences to this? Are there going to be legal consequences? Sorry, I dropped my deck. Are there going to be legal consequences? I think there's going to be a lot to be said. I do think that Mars Island is going to stop for a little bit. That particular outing. Um, how will the fans react? Fans are going to stand by him. Will there be a redemption or fall from grace? Will there be redemption or fall from grace? Two cards. Two cards. Nothing for now. Nothing for now. This is going to tread water for a little bit, guys. So I know there's a lot of YouTube channels and a lot of articles that have a very strong opinion on this. And as I said, there's no legal case against him right now. This is just kind of people looking like, oh, that's a little bit weird. I think some of us, people will look at us a little bit oddly sometimes. So to be continued on this one, I think we're gonna have a bit more time to discuss this. So I want everybody to remember that fame for musicians, artists, actors, those kinds of people creates both projection and pressure, and it can also create expectation. we did see some of this, like with Selena. I'm not saying that all of the allegations or alleged allegations are like Yolanda in the Selena case, obsessed. But I do think that we have to wait to see what comes out. These cards aren't verdicts, they're energetic weather patterns, so to speak. So we're going to keep exploring that together. Um, you know, we do have to believe the survivors, but we also have to remember that truth and clarity often do take time and great care to get the information out. So I hope you guys don't think that I'm leaning one way or the other. I really do have a big question mark. I am a I am a fan of Jared Leto's work and his voice. I am, I do think that he is an amazing artist, and I think sometimes artists can be quite difficult. Uh, famously, uh, we've got a number of artists that are reputed to be very difficult to work with and be around. Marlon Brando was one of them. Marlon Brando had, an allegation against him, several allegations against him. Great actor, yes. But when these actors go into, I bet Johnny Depp is the method actor. I know sometimes he is difficult to bear when he is in that realm. Let's do that. We're gonna do a little bit more little bonus spread for him. Let's do a little bonus spread here. And I'll just pull up a few more. So let's do this. How does Jared Leto view himself? How does he view himself? Biding his time. How do his fans view him? Justice in reverse, done wrong. What is hidden beneath the surface? The Emperor, that is a strong energy. What is the karmic lesson for all parties? The truth will out. What healing can emerge from this narrative? Ooh, world ending. So, wants to do that just real quick, see what we get on that. So, like I said, I think this is going to be a story that we're going to be talking about for a bit. We're going to probably wait till the Diddy trial ends and then switch gears over to Jared Leto. So the press will be paying attention to that. My concern is that we're getting into a madness of crowds kind of situation, and everyone's going to be, kind of wild about the music industry. There's a rich history of, groupies in the music industry. And sometimes, people will do too much for fandom. But let me know what you think down in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have a crazy headache from doing laundry until 2 o'clock in the morning. But like I said, I'm going to go into meditation, and we are going to do a little Chris Cornell mediumship channeling. So I'll see you guys in that one. I'm going to get it out as quickly as I can. Thanks so much.